process.
What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Combear16, and we are on the Mock Draft Machine website. You guys can see at the top, that is the link if you guys do want to do this for yourselves. But I'm going to be sharing with you guys my 2019 mock draft. Now, the draft is tonight. I wanted to get this video out as fast as I could. I had class and everything. Got back as fast as I could to make this video just for you guys. This video will not be cut that much. I think I'm only going to cut out maybe a couple parts if I mess up or something. I don't know. It's not going to be cut that much. So let's just hop right into it. Nothing to really talk about. If you guys do like this video, though, make sure you go hit that like button, hit that subscribe button for more videos in the future. Shout out to my boy who made the thumbnail. His link will be right down in the description for you guys. But with the very first pick in the draft, obviously the Cardinals are up. Now, I'm going off of what I think that the teams are going to do, not off of what I think is going to do. I think these teams are going to be making these decisions kind of rashly. But obviously right here it says Quentin Williams and Nick Bosa are the 1 and 2 number people. But I doubt they take Nick Bosa. I think that the Cardinals coach Klingleberry, or whatever his name is, I think he's too high on Kyler Murray right now. And I think that Kyler Murray will end up being the number 1 draft pick in the 2019 draft. So we're going to take him. Sorry, I am a little sick. My allergies are acting up. But obviously, on everybody's mock board, they have Kyler Murray going number 1. It's the obvious pick. Actually, the obvious pick would be Nick Bosa because the Cardinals don't really need a quarterback. But for some reason, I feel like that Kyler Murray is going to end up being an Arizona Cardinal. Going with the second pick, the 49ers, obviously they don't need a quarterback, so take Kyler Murray out of there. They got Jimmy Garoppolo, and I feel like they're just going to take the next biggest guy on the board, so which is going to be Nick Bosa. I think they compared him to his brother. I think that Nick Bosa is going to be better than Joey Bosa. What he did at Ohio State, dude, that dude is a monster. He can do everything. Sadly, he got injured and then didn't play for the rest of his college career or whatever, which I thought was kind of weird. I don't know why he did that, but yeah, I have Nick Bosa going number 2. Going with my number 3 pick for the Jets. I think the Jets are like a dumpster fire, kinda. The Jets do not know what they want, and they do not know what they're gonna do. But I think that again they're going to take the best name off the board, which at this point is Quentin Williams. So I'm going to go with Quentin Williams to the Jets. In one of my mock drafts I had them taking Josh Allen or Devin White because they really need some linebackers. I know they added CJ Mosley in the offseason, but I mean the Jets defense really needs to become that defense in the NFL, and I think adding Quentin Williams is going to help them a lot on the D-line. Going to the 4th pick with the Raiders, the first pick of I think 3 in the first round. I think they got the other 2 from the Bears and the Cowboys. Now the Raiders, I don't think that they're going to go offense to start the draft. Sorry if you guys are hearing some stuff in the background. I don't think they're going to go offense with the number 4 pick. I think the Raiders are too heavy on Derek Carr to take a quarterback, so I doubt they take a quarterback. I doubt they take a wide receiver with this pick so high up. I think they're going to take probably the best linebacker on the board, which is Devin White. I think Devin White is going to go to the Oakland Raiders. He'll help them out a lot. I know that they did sign Vontaze Burfict and Brandon Marshall, but those are 2 very old linebackers that you have on the team. And even if Devin White doesn't start, he's still going to come in and he's going to provide that energy off the bench. If you guys kind of know what I mean. Even if they do move him to an outside linebacker, I think it'll help the Raiders defense a lot. Going to the 5th pick, so far we have 4 people gone and 3 on defense and 1 on offense, and we're going to keep with the defenses. The defenses going with the Bucks. I think the Bucks are definitely going to take Josh Allen. Josh Allen, the best guy on the board. They lost Kawan Alexander in the offseason. They're going to need an edge rusher. They're going to have him and Jason Pierre-Paul on the edge, and they're going to have Villa in the middle. That's going to be a scary D-line in that NFC South division. Now, if they could just get their offense intact, I think that they would be a pretty good team that they could kind of take over the NFL. Going to the Giants. Now, everybody has the Giants taking Dwayne Haskins, but I've been reading a lot of stuff that Drew Lock is going to be their guy. But this is what I think that they're going to do. I think that they're going to take... I think Drew Lock is the second best quarterback on the board. I really like Drew Lock. I don't know why. Maybe it's because he went to Missouri, but I really like Drew Lock. But I'm going to have the Giants take Dwayne Haskins. That's who they've been talking about getting. I think he worked out with them, had a very good workout. But I think Dwayne Haskins is the future of the Giants. Even if he does have to sit behind Eli for the first season, it doesn't really matter because Eli's contract is up after the season. So Dwayne Haskins will get full reign next year. Going to the Jacksonville Jaguars, I think that the Jaguars, what did they do in the offseason? They had a lot of injuries on defense, I know that. And then I know that they did sign Nick Foles in the offseason. And what does Nick Foles need? What does Nick Foles love to do? He loves to throw it to his tight end. He had Zach Ertz in Philly, and that was his number one guy. So why not keep the trend going? I'm going to have the Jacksonville Jaguars draft TJ Hockenson now at number 7. For some reason, I don't know why people value TJ Hockenson higher than Noah Fant. Honestly, I think it's just because TJ Hockenson can block. I've seen TJ Hockenson get compared to Gronk a couple times, which I do not agree with at all. I think that's kind of dumb. I don't think that would be a good comparison. But I think that he is going to help the Jaguars a lot, especially to have another target Nick Foles can throw to. Going to the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions' offensive line is fine. I doubt they take Jawan Taylor. I think Jawan Taylor and the offensive tackles are going to fall a little bit. But I do have them taking a edge rusher, and I think that is going to be Brian Burns. I do not know a lot about Brian Burns. I know he just went to Florida State. I've seen a couple highlights. This man is a beast. He is just throwing people out of the way. And I think with Ziggy Ansah coming off of I think it was shoulder surgery or something surgery, he is not going to be at 100% this season. And I think with Brian Burns coming off one edge, and then you have Trey Flowers coming off the other edge, I think that's going to be very deadly for the Detroit Lions. Going to the Buffalo Bills Mafia, I think that they are going to take Ed Oliver right there. Probably one of the best D linemen to ever come into the draft, but I do think he falls because of some other people. Because I think teams are going to be taking what they need. I don't think they're just going to be like, oh, this guy, he's pretty good, let me get him. Like I think this draft, people are going to be taking what they need. So Ed Oliver, when he went to Houston, I think he was a Heisman hopeful at one point. I know that because he was talked about a lot. I don't know if it was last season or this season, but he did show out, and he is definitely going to go in the top 10 of this draft. All right, so going with the Denver Broncos. Denver Broncos signed Joe Flacco. I doubt they take a quarterback just because that they did sign Joe Flacco in the offseason. So I think that they're going to be really high on him. They're going to be like, yeah, Joe Flacco's our guy for this season. If they take a quarterback, I'll be very surprised. But I'm going to have them taking the first tackle off the board, which is Jawan Taylor. I think he's going to help. He's going to help protect Joe Flacco a lot. Joe Flacco likes to sit in the pocket a lot more than most quarterbacks. And if he can get that amount of time, I think that he'll have a pretty good season. Going to pick 11 with the Cincinnati Bengals. I do not know a lot about the Bengals, but I do know that they need to get their shit together because they should be a lot better than what they are. AJ Green, I know Tyler Boyd emerged. They still have Tyler Eifert who gets hurt a bunch, but I feel like they're gonna go defense. And if I'm looking at my defense, I'm like, who am I gonna take? Definitely Devin Bush. Probably he's one of the best linebackers off the board, especially with them losing Vontaze Burfict in the offseason. So their linebackers are not very good at the moment. So that's who I have going to the Bengals. Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers. What do they need? They signed Adrian Amos in the offseason, which is a very, very good pickup. They lose anyone? I don't think they lost anybody, but I think that they are going to draft probably, if I had to guess, they're going to take Noah Fant. I can see Noah Fant going high just because of how old Jimmy Graham is getting, and Noah Fant is kind of like an all-around tight end who he kind of like resolves Jimmy Graham. So I think that them two together will be basically the perfect matchup. Going to the Miami Dolphins, who signed Ryan Fitzpatrick in the offseason, I think that they are going to end up taking Jonah Williams, OT, out of Alabama. They did draft Laremy Tunsil. I'm not sure what year he did, but I remember he was the one smoking with the gas mask because that was fucking hilarious. And I feel like he would fit perfect down there. And then they would have basically their two franchise tackles on the team helping out Ryan Fitzpatrick. Going to the Atlanta Falcons. I don't know a lot about the Falcons. I don't know what they need. I don't know what they could get. But looking at my mock draft that I had written down already, I have them going with a guard. But I think I might change that. I think I might have them end up taking. I think I'm gonna have them take Montez Sweat. I think Montez Sweat is a very good edge rusher to have them. Like he would basically just fall into their grasp because nobody else would really need him. I did have him going before Brian Burns, but I think Brian Burns might be the better all-around player. And I know Montez Sweat has a heart condition, so I think that he might end up falling just because of that. Going to the Redskins, this one's easy. I doubt if they take any other position than quarterback, it is stupid. I have Drew Lock going to the Redskins. Second QB off the board, actually third QB off the board, which really only leads one more better QB, which is Daniel Jones, and I have no idea where he's gonna land. I'm just making it. I'm gonna make up his as we go, but Drew Lock, third best quarterback, second best quarterback actually in the draft, I think. He really showed out. I know that who did he work out for? I'm not sure who he worked out for, but he had a very good season last season in Missouri, kind of showing out. In the Redskins, obviously with having Alex Smith die last season, you kind of need a quarterback. But even if the Redskins got any of these quarterbacks, I think it would be perfect for them. Going to the Panthers, a team who was 5-0 or something, and then they dropped like 8 games in a row, which is kind of funny. Actually, not kind of funny for them, but it's kind of funny to everybody else. But I think they need that person that's going to replace Julius Peppers on defense. So that's why I have them taking Colin Farrell out of Clemson. Replacing Julius Peppers is pretty hard. I mean, obviously he's a legend, so he's kind of got big shoes to fill. But I think that Colin Farrell would work perfectly in their scheme on defense with Luke Kuechly and everybody on that defense. Going number 7, we're up to the Giants again. At first pick, I had them taking Dwayne Haskins, the quarterback they need. Now we're gonna have to go get Eli some targets. Other than Sterling Shepard, come on now, you need someone else. So I'm going to have them take probably the best wide receiver off the board, I think, which is Marquise Brown. Marquise Brown at Oklahoma, definitely the best wide receiver I've seen in that conference. He was dogging people. It wasn't even fair. So having him and Sterling Shepard together is going to be like the perfect 1-2 punch with Saquon Barkley in the background. So we're going to see how that hopefully, I want to see if he does get drafted there. I'd love to see how he does trying to replace Odell. 18 Vikings. This is probably a no-brainer. Definitely have the Vikings. I think I have the Vikings taking Cody Ford, the first guard. It says he's a tackle. I think he's a guard though. Another one out of Oklahoma. The Vikings' offensive line is atrocious, and I think that if they can draft, they really need to protect Kirk Cousins. He is their number one. He is their number one person. They need him. They need him good for the season. The Vikings need to get back to the playoffs, basically. Going to number 19, which is the Tennessee Titans. I don't know a lot about the Titans. Again, another person I can't really say a lot. I know I think I'm going to have them taking Rashawn Gary out of Michigan, another edge rusher. I think he's going to work perfectly. I think he could work perfectly, with Jarrell Casey on the side, on the other side. Having, I can't think of his name, it's like Ballard the third inside as their middle linebacker, and they have that big old dude as defensive tackle. I can't think of his name, but Adoree Jackson on the defense, Bird. I think that defense is going to be a little scary next season. Going to number 20 with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Obviously, the only wide receiver they have at the moment is Juju Smith-Schuster. I know they did sign, I think it was Devin Funchess, or was it I think it was Dante Moncrief in the offseason. So I think they're gonna go. I think they would either lean towards someone on defense, maybe a secondary player, or another wide receiver. But I think I'm gonna have them going with Greedy Williams. Greedy Williams is the best corner in the draft. I think he can do everything. He can hit. He can recover. If you're getting past him, he's right next to you, so it doesn't really matter. So I think he is definitely the best secondary player in the draft. So if he falls all the way down to the Steelers, I think they have no choice but to take him. Going number 21 with the Seattle Seahawks. Obviously, they're not going to take a quarterback because of the whole Russell Wilson ordeal. So it doesn't matter for them with the quarterback. I think they are going to go probably defense. I think they are going to take the first safety off the board. They definitely need some safeties, so I'm going to have them taking Jonathan Abram. Don't know a lot about Jonathan Abram out of Mississippi State, but I know he is ranked one of the best safeties in the draft next to the Chauncey dude. But I hope that hopefully Jonathan Abram they hope that he can replace either Cam Chancellor or Earl Thomas. Going to number 22 with the Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson. You have the running game. They signed Mark Ingram in the offseason. What do you need? You need a big old wide receiver. So why not take DK Metcalf, the biggest and the fucking strongest receiver I think I've seen in a good minute. This dude, I don't know if you guys have ever seen that picture of DK Metcalf, but that is not photoshopped, bro. That dude is fucking crazy. He is crazy fucking built. But I think that Lamar Jackson having a big old target to, like, because technically the Ravens don't have a number one receiver. Like, come on now, Willie Snead ain't a number one receiver, and then I know they have someone else, and I can't think of who it is. But you get DK Metcalf in there, that's the perfect guy to just throw it up to whenever they actually throw the ball, because all they do is run the ball. Going to number 23, Texans. This is an easy one. I have them taking Andre Dillard. Another offensive tackle off the board. Texans line, not very good, but I think Deshaun Watson was one of the most hit or sacked QBs in the league. Like, that is your franchise quarterback right there. You do not need him getting beat up like 8, 9 times, 10 times a game. Like, you do not need that. He's basically your best option there. Going to number 24, Raiders are back up. I have them taking Joshua Jacobs, trying to get their franchise running back out of Alabama. I know he did not play a lot of games at Alabama, but when he did, he could do everything. He could block, he could catch, he could run the rock. He has that burst of energy when he hits the hole. I think that's a no-brainer pick for the Raiders. Going to number 25, I think I'm gonna have the Eagles going with Rock Ya-Sin. I do not know a lot about Rock Ya-Sin. I know he kind of like emerged in people's mock drafts, just kind of randomly. I heard them saying that he's one of the best corners on the board, and if he's there, you definitely got to take him. With the Eagles having all the injuries and all how old their secondary is getting, I think that this would be a very good pick for the Eagles. Going to the Colts. I think the Colts are going to take Christian Wilkins. I know that you guys are probably punching me in the face right now, being like, whoa, why do you have Christian Wilkins falling that far? Chill. I think he is going to work very well with the Colts defense. The Colts defense went crazy last year. Darius Leonard won Rookie of the Year or whatever. I think that defense is going to be crazy good. And if they add an interior D lineman just like him, big old Christian Wilkins, I guess it's going to help him a lot. Number 27, oh, look who's up, the Raiders again. I think the Raiders are going to take a wide receiver here, and they're going to take our boy AJ Brown out of Mississippi. I'm pretty sure he was at Ole Miss. Yeah, he is Antonio Brown's cousin. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's the one that's AJ Brown, or he's the one that's Antonio's cousin. I think it'd be kind of cool to have like the cousins kind of play together. AJ Brown would definitely be that number 2 receiver to have, other than Antonio Brown. Number 28, I think I'm gonna have them take Daniel Jones. I think this is where Daniel Jones hops off the board. Basically going to be like that next heir to Phillip Rivers. He is getting very, very old. He has like, dude, how many kids does Phillip Rivers have? This man has like 7 kids. But I think that the Chargers should be looking to get a new quarterback in the future. Phillip Rivers can't play forever. Even if Daniel Jones has to do a Dwayne Haskins and sit next year, I think that's fine. And I think he'll hop right into he'll fill right into Phillip Rivers' shoes. I think we're up with the Seattle Seahawks again. Seattle Seahawks. I think we'll just have them take Garrett Bradbury. Do not know a lot about interior. He's an interior O-lineman, guard. I know the Seahawks have never really had a very good offensive line. Now that you just paid that guy's I can't think of his name, Russell Wilson. Now that you just paid him all the money in the world, I think that you have no choice to try to protect him basically at all costs. Back up with the Packers. I think we had them taking Noah Fant at first. Now I think they're going to go over to the defense and they're going to take Byron Murphy out of Washington. Some people say that he's the very first or the very best corner in the draft. I do not believe that. I think that Greedy Williams is definitely the best person in the draft to go with. But I'm going to have actually back-to-back corners go off the board here. So then I'm going to have the Rams be taking DeAndre Baker out of Georgia because the Rams secondary is getting very, very old. Who is it? Aqib Talib, Marcus Peters is kind of getting up there in age. Who they signed, Eric Weddle's very old. So if you can kind of get that youth, he can learn off of them, and I think he's going to be a very good corner in the draft. Now we are going with the New England Patriots with the 32nd pick, and I think they are going to get a steal of a wide receiver. Yes, I said a wide receiver, and it's going to be N'Keal Harry out of Arizona State. He is one of the best receivers in the draft. So this was my mock draft. If you guys do not agree with any of my picks, sorry. This is just a mock draft. This is just what I think. This is my opinion. If I forgot any of your guys' favorite players, I'm sorry. There are a lot of players on here, and if I forgot someone, I'm sorry. It's hard to draft, or it's hard to mock draft linemen. That's all I gotta say. But I want you guys to make sure to go down, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the very next video. Peace.